So we are here in the building.
Yes.
Yes, we here in the building. We here in the building. It's another day of Pillow Talk Live. And we were in the middle of Jenna wanted to strangle someone, but we're not going to get into that. Oh, my bad.
I always think already.
My bad. So y'all said don't throw up under the bus. And that's prime example how we throw you up under the bus.
Disregard.
Disregard that. Disregard that. Yes, disregard. Okay, so today's topic is...
We're going to talk about the ins and outs of funeral homes.
Yes.
And also how important it is to have insurance.
Yes.
Yes.
And things of that nature, you know?
Yes.
Because a lot of people want to know, but they scared. Like, I don't want to believe it's going to be the end one day, but it's going to be the end one day. I mean, one day it's going to be the end, and you should be glad that you lived your life and had a good, if you lived your life and had a pretty good time on earth, or here, or there, wherever you believe you're going to go or stay, or wherever you're going to be. But just have a pretty good time, because one day, I think, in my opinion, and I think we can all agree, especially these two guys, that it's going to be over one day. But let's not get too deep into it and feel so sorry about it, feel so sad. But what we want to do, as we always do, we start the day off with a general introduction of us. And here we have, as you can see, the Dream Team. Me and my beautiful wife, we are the Dream Team. Yes, Itico La Paris Jordan and Andrea now Jordan. Andrea Jordan. Andrea Jordan.
Yeah. It rolled off your tongue, baby. Yeah.
Yes.
Feels good to be a Jordan.
Yeah, it rolled off your tongue.
Yes. And
sound good to you, don't it?
it sounds so amazing.
Yeah, make me feel good.
Yes. I'm going to the right of her is this young lady who I've been knowing for years, maybe like 20 some odd plus years. I know this young lady. What is your name, young lady?
Center Folds.
Center Fold. What do you do, Center? What's your you know what I'm trying to say? Occupation.
I am a licensed embalmer, funeral director within the state of Ohio and Indiana.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
So are you a Colts
And-
fan or are you a Bengals fan?
I'm neither.
Neither. Who are you for then?
Center.
Center. Yes, Center.
Mortuary beekeeper.
Well, there it is.
Mortuary beekeeper.
That's the best team. That's the best team.
Now
right
is
there.
that's the name of the business, or there's something like a term that's used, like it's like a little like a term of endearment?
Mortuary beekeeper is the name of the company. I created it off of bees because bees are a community that work together, and within that community, there is always one queen bee. And for me, I am that queen bee within the tri-state area, providing trade service to funeral directors only, as well as funerals to families at request.
All right.
So I kind of did something different within the funeral industry to set my mark.
Right.
Right.
Congrats.
Now to the
Proud of
to the right of Center is not the person that was supposed to be on the show, but he said, you know what, y'all better put me on the show.
Oh,
You
yes,
better
I'm
put
here.
me on
I'm
the-
here. I'm here. Yes.
Yeah, and what's your name, young man?
Vernon E. Allen II.
Vernon E. Allen II. And what is your occupations or occupation?
Occupation. I am a funeral attendant. I am the lead funeral attendant at Mortuary Beekeeper, and I'm also the chaplain.
The chaplain.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything else going on outside of that?
Outside of that, no, sir.
Nothing? Okay,
Nothing.
okay, I got you. I understand that. So let me ask this question. When you say you are now what's your title again?
Lead funeral attendant.
So is that that's under, like right up under you or like close to you or over?
That's right up under Miss Folds.
Right up under Miss Foles.
Yes.
So she is the queen.
She's the queen.
Bzz.
Yes.
Bzz.
She give me her buzz,
Yes.
and I'll be about the business.
Yes.
Yes. Stand on the business. Stand on business. Okay, I got it.
like that.
That's how you do it.
Deliver. Sign, seal, deliver. We got it.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
And next to young man Vernon, we have Because she's not here. Shaunetta's sick. She's recovering because her legs are tired. But we're going to go to our good friend, Roberto, and we'll come back to you. Roberto?
Yes, I'm Roberto Emery.
Yes.
I am an STNA, in the medical field.
Okay.
Taking care of the elderly.
And then also, and speaking of that, as you've been an STNA, so you deal with death too.
Yes.
We as in the healthcare, I'm a nurse also. We deal with death. Mm-hmm. We have patients that die on us, and we try to save them. So it's all too often. We have like patients that die on us, and we try to
We gotta clean them up.
So I mean, you can relate to death too.
Yes.
So it's for your observation.
And she's also one of those people. So to the left of Roberto, we have this young lady.
Damn, Gina.
Gina.
I had to do it on my mind all the time.
I always wanted to know if people said that about her. I ain't gonna lie. You snatched that out of my mouth. Yeah, you got it. And what's your name and occupation, Miss Gina?
I am Gina, and I am a nurse, and I work alongside the Mrs. here from time to time.
Yes, that's amazing. It's always. I can't wait till we have. I've been wanting her to have this show so bad, like good nurses, because y'all know how it is. But my mom was in a nursing home, and I was young at the time. But I would advise keep your family home, because it's like you got some good seeds, then you got a lot of bad seeds that just want that money. But we'll talk about that some other day. We're gonna get to that subject and that that topic one day. But so we're gonna get on with the show, with the funeral services, and trying to get the ins and outs and see the good and the bad and whatever else comes along with it. Whatever else, whatever we feel like talking about. We're gonna feel free. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna make this show feel comfortable for the public. We don't want you to be cringy and start looking and oh my God, they talking about Lord. But we're gonna dive right into it. And this is a question that I have for either one of you, Cinta or my man Vernon. So, what was your inspiration on getting into this field? I mean, like when you were young, or going through college, or whatever the case may be. What was your inspiration that sparked you to say, you know what, I wanna do that?
Well, let me say this. In this business, it's a ministry, first of all.
Okay.
And in our ministry, we want to help folks who are in dire need. I mean, if I can just help somebody along the way, then my living will not be in vain. Meaning that, we hurt. We hurt when we lose loved ones. And we have to be there. Us at Mortuary Beekeeper, we be there to let you know that it's okay to cry. It's okay to scream. It's okay to holler. So we provide a service to let you know and ensure you that everything's going to be taken care of. Yes, it hurts, and they say time heals all wounds. Yes, time does heal all wounds. But at that present moment, you need to have somebody that's going to be right there to hold your hand step by step, who's going to walk you along the way to let you know that it's okay to cry. It's okay to scream. It's okay to holler. But at Mortuary Beekeeper, we provide a service to let you know, to ensure you that we are here, not only to cry with you, laugh with you, because memories brings about laughter, crying, and all those sorts of things. So we just want to let you know that we are here. Right. We're not treating you as another customer or client. We're treating you as family. Right. Because at the end of the day, family is all important. Every family don't get along per se. Every family don't agree with each other. But we at Mortuary Beekeeper want to let you all know that it's okay to cry. It's okay to pull out your problems. It's okay to have a disagreement. But at the end of the day, family needs to stick together. Family needs to be together. despite the differences. And we here at Mortuary Beekeeper, we do not judge. We do not we there as a family.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's down great.
So and another thing you forgot, as long as you keep it under 2 minutes for the
Yes, sir.
speech.
I'm so
right?
sorry.
No, not you, but when you get there.
At the jail, yes, sir. But yeah, because we do have them family members who would take you about. But I want to say that we love what we do.
Right.
It's not about the money. It's about the ministry.
Right.
And we at Mortuary Beekeeper love to help those who really don't have no direction on which way to go. Because death comes real quick. It comes sudden. It comes out of nowhere. And so we at Mortuary Beekeeper, we just want to let you all know that we are here to help. We are here to cry, serve, and be with you as a family.
Right. That's good. That's always good to know. That's always good to know. And when I'm always at a funeral, man, that's one thing I do look for. Like, is it wholesome? Is it like, usually when I'm at a funeral service or at a funeral home, they are all pretty much like trying to attend to the client or the family to make sure their well-being is like intact and make sure their loved one is well taken care of. That's no longer with us. So it's a good thing that you guys have that attitude, and I'm glad to see a black company, the Beekeepers. I'm glad to see y'all doing y'all thing. But Cinta,
Miss Centerfold.
what was your inspiration like? What was you when you was in school, when you was little? It might have been a loved one that you said, I don't like the way they treated, or whatever the case may be. In college, blah blah blah. You might have saw a movie, but what was your inspiration that sparked you to say, you know what, I want to do this?
My inspiration or the feeling or the drive for me to continue to do this every single day was due to my grandmother dying of cancer. And she was preparing me for her death at the age of 8. So her thing was, I'd rather tell you that I'm going to be dying, and so you're prepared that this physical form will no longer be here.
Right.
Now it's how you deal with the spiritual form. So I will transition into a physical form, and once me into a spiritual form. And once I do that, you can speak, hear, talk, all this type of things that she had mentioned to me. So from there, by the time 10 came, she was gone. And at that time, when I saw her and saw the whole physical aspect of what she was explaining to me at 8, that she would be in a casket and family and friends would come to visit, that what led me to say, that's what I want to do. So all through high school, when you know me, people thought I was weird, thought I was crazy, because all I wanted to do was funerals. I wanted to get into the funeral industry. And when I say it's a calling spiritually, that you're here to serve those, that come into your realm. And I don't even know how the people may come, what they may say, what type of tragedy they may be dealing with. Right. I just, it's a mist of acting and doing everything that I think is possible or I know to do.
Right. So when you did do you remember what it was like when you had your first, on your own business, your very first one?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am here to introduce a brand new product called Gorilla Strength. It is a detox cleanse made by the black-owned company, yes, I repeat, black-owned company, Melanin Splash. Y'all, this stuff is legit. I've been using it for about a week now. Y'all, my mind has been clear. My energy level has been through the roof, if you can't tell. My motivation has skyrocketed about tenfold. Y'all, this stuff is crazy. It is legit. It's super simple and easy to use. All you gotta do is take a cup of water with about 10 or 12 ounces maybe. Go ahead and add you a scoop of this bad boy, shake it up, drink it, and mwah, chef's kiss. Yo, I promise you guys, try it. You're gonna love it, and you can thank me later. You're welcome.
www.melanunsplash.com.
When I first started in the
When you
industry,
first had your own business, you got your first funeral you did from your own business. You remember what it was like?
I remember.
Can you tell us about that? What you felt and how did you feel a sense of success and I accomplished it or whatever? How did you feel when you first did your first one and you got through it? What was that feeling you had? How was it?
The feeling was it wasn't a feeling of excitement. It wasn't a feeling of it was just a feeling of act. You know, I'm act to perform a service for someone that's in need right now. And just unfortunately, this family really didn't have any money, and they were at a point where they were scouting as to how they're going to pull this money together. And so to be excited about that, it really wasn't no excitement to it. And it just, I guess for me, when you asked about excitement in the business, I'm not a lame or anything like that.
Right.
It's just, I just don't count it as, I just say my pivotal excited period. I just say it's a blessing or a gift that this has happened.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
More like when you
So,
feel like, okay,
yeah.
This is my
I
call.
got this is my calling. I'm starting to have success in it. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if you asking me a question pertaining to when I first got in the industry, that's a different story.
Right, like
but
when
when
you
you
first-
say when I started the business, that was just
Okay.
4 years ago. But I've been in the industry 25 years.
Okay.
So 25 years. This year is I can go back to when I saw my first case at 22. Somebody got their head blown off. So, and then, being told to, hey, let's put their head back together, but overall,
How was that?
Right.
How was that?
it was, I guess it was intriguing for me because it was the cast of how do I put this person back together to show to their family.
Wow.
Because the family doesn't know what the tragedy is that's on the table.
Right.
They only know what they want to see. And that's the makeup of them looking beautiful or looking nice or being presentable to a full audience.
Right.
So the worse, the better. I love.
Right.
Okay.
So if that
You
makes
said the
sense.
worse, the better. What do you mean by that?
So the worst, the death or the tragedy of the death. And if I have to restore someone or put someone back together,
More of a challenge, more of a like.
yeah, it's challenging to say I can do this. That's the excitement for
Right.
me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, but it's some people that cannot do what I do.
It's a lot of people probably can do what you do. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying in general, that's in the industry. It's it's some embalmers that may not want to do tragic deaths. It's some embalmers that just want to do grandmothers. For example, someone that just passed away in their sleep, and we could just make them look good.
yeah.
But that's somebody that might come along, get hit by a truck, or get burnt up in the house, or drowned in a tub, or drowned in a river, or something like that. It's some people that really do shy away from that.
So has there ever been? This is away from my question, but have there ever been a challenge so difficult that you was like, I can't even do it? Like not like mentally, but like it's just hard to get them to look presentable.
Well, what we tell every family, I cannot present your loved one back to the way God has presented them.
Right.
But I can do my best
Right.
to reconstruct their position.
Yeah.
Sometimes is it like if it's like too tragic or you can't do it, that's when they just have like closed caskets. Where do they come in at?
That comes in depending upon the family. And it also goes back to me stating about those that may embalm but don't want to do tragic embalmings.
Okay.
So they may steer a family from a viewing
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
if they can't do it themselves.
Okay.
So,
Okay, because I had been to a funeral before when it was closed casket.
yeah. And then, like I say, it depends upon the family if they want the public to see them,
Right.
or the individual. They may have said all their life, don't allow nobody to see me. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
So they just respecting it, the individual wishes.
Right.
Mr. Bernie.
So let me say this. being said what she said, I want to say, don't get mad at the funeral home when they done ran out of programs. You heard her say how she's compassionate, how she like to do what she do. We take that stuff home with us. We think about that stuff constantly. What can I do better? How can I serve better? So before you get mad at us because we don't have enough programs, or Peanut's name wasn't in the obituaries,
Or he didn't look right.
or he didn't look right.
That's not your fault, is it?
Think about the tragic. Think about the mental part. What we have to go through.
Yeah.
Where we can't go. We can go home, but we can't eat because our mind is so in tune at work. We don't want to eat right now. We just want to lay down and get back to work. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So be mindful and be conscious of next time you go to a funeral. You be like, they don't look like themselves, or be mindful what the embalmer, what the funeral director, what the owner, or whatever have to go through. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah.
Right. So how do y'all get connected, and what got you into the business?
Well, I was 12 years old.
Okay.
My grandmother took me to a funeral one night. And I've always been the type that like to wear suits. Even from a little boy, the little 3-piece with the little Stacey Adams, I've always been that type.
Right.
So she carried me to a funeral one night, and I was paying close attention to the undertakers. And I had to give a shout out to the late, great Donald H. Jordan Sr. He had a funeral in Middletown, Ohio. And when I went to the service, I was closely paying attention to the funeral home personnel. And I like how they moved. I like how they dressed. And I've always said I wanted to grow up and work at a funeral home.
Okay.
And one day I grew up and I started working at a funeral home.
Right.
So that's what attracted me to the business, because I like to serve. I like to make people smile. I like to make people laugh. And I have to do that through my ministry, through the funeral business. Not necessarily laugh, but put a smile on someone's face that said you did your best. You did everything you could to help my family get along this process. Yep.
How y'all connect?
How we connect?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because when we first met, we couldn't stand each other. Oh my God, we could not stand each other.
Wow.
And she fussed at me, and I'm looking at her like, lady, I really don't know you, so you don't even know me. I've been in this business a long time. She said, I don't care who you are. You ain't got no business.
That's sensitive. Yes.
And then one day we started talking, and I was helping her, and she was like, you really do have a passion for this business. She said, let me take you under my wing and let me show you the corrective way of doing things. And we've been inseparable ever since. Yeah.
How long that been?
Yeah, I kill a waltz over. Yeah, a waltz. Now, if she called and tell me to kill a spider, I'm good. I ain't gonna do that. I kill a waltz over.
How long it's been?
How long it's been?
Since 2018.
Yeah, since 2018.
He had walked in on me while I was embalming, and that threw me
And she
for a
put-
loop,
she
because I'm
put
looking
me
at him
out.
like, why is he in here? What is his purpose? And so at the time I was the manager of the funeral home, so I already knew who everybody was that was coming through the door, and he just so happened to come through the door, and I'm like,
She didn't tell you I was a new hire at the time.
right. So I didn't know they had put him on a funeral, and I just happened to be there late, and he happened to come through the door with the other director, and he wanted to come pick it with me to challenge me as a woman, as my skills and ability to embalm a body.
Oh.
Well, let me say this, because
That's what started.
when I grew up in the business, the funeral service was more male dominant than female.
Right.
And it was very rare that you came across a female that was good.
Right.
Like Miss Foe, she good. And I was just looking at her like, you a girl. What you know?
Yes.
That's why you got put out. That's why you got
Yeah, you a girl. And when I saw her skill settings, when I saw her compassion, when I saw her drive, only thing I could say was, she the one. She the one.
Yes.
She's the one that's gonna take mortuary science to another level.
Right.
She's the one.
There it is.
I like that. But I've known Cynthia for a long time. And she said I ain't never know that people thought she was weird or whatever, but I did know she was serious.
Oh yeah, she real serious. She real serious.
She's serious.
She real serious.
Because I could crack a joke when I was younger, crack a joke, and she was looking like, what the hell is this?
I was a loner.
Yes, she was a loner, man. But I was so thrilled. I mean, like, I wasn't thrilled, but I was just like, wow. When she mentioned to me that when I ran back to tour years later, and she said she was like, that's what she was doing now, was the funeral home things, the embalm. And I was like, damn. I was like, wow, she's really doing that? Like, you can embalm, you can like sit there and like do that, recreate. I was like, wow. So that was amazing to me. But I kind of knew that you were like that type of person that was like serious. So when you say you got to know her when you came in, like, she's a girl, she don't know what she's doing.
Yeah, right,
but then when you really got to know her,
compassion,
she's
right?
serious.
She for real.
Yeah.
She for real.
Yeah, that was good. So that's good, man.
Now she probably gonna fuss at me when we leave here because I might have said something wrong.
Right?
She for real.
Well, it's all out of love. It's all out of love.
Right.
All out of love.
Okay, so I got a question. So do more people choose to be cremated more or than just a burial?
I'll just say this. With the statistical factors, cremation has inched up to almost, we at getting close to 60%, but we're not quite there yet. But eventually, that's where it seems like the law of the land is trying to push people to, consider cremation as a disposition. Disposition meaning to decide as far as if you're going to bury or if you're going to cremate. But then with cremation, there's another step to it. Burial is one step where you just be placed in the ground. Cremation, you cremate the body and then you grind the bones to an ash-like. But now, once you receive those ashes, cremains, proper term, what do you just do with those remains? Now, are you going to travel with the person? The person gonna sit in your closet. The person gonna sit on your table. Is the person gonna sit on your refrigerator? Or is the person gonna land on your floor?
Right.
So now the final disposition is, are you gonna place them?
Right.
Either in the ground or in the mausoleum or a niche.
So even if you do a cremation, you can place them on the ground? I thought it was like a place you had to...
You have 3 steps after cremation. But this is where our community fails. And we fail tremendously at this. So we either gonna stick with and have traditional burials continuously, or if we're gonna have cremations, let's do the proper thing with our loved ones and quit leaving them at the funeral home.
Oh yeah, they leave them at the funeral home.
Wow,
What you
really?
mean by that?
And then leave them
Oh
there?
yeah, I done seen some ashes from 1969, and I wasn't even born then.
Wow.
Right. They'll leave them at the funeral home.
So with cremation is also for us, we need to also consider the next steps. Just because you say, well, I'm gonna cremate my loved one, or somebody may say, just burn me up. But remember, after you do that, now what you gonna do with the person? Or someone in your family say, well, just cremate because it's cheaper. Yeah, it's cheaper if you want to put it in economical dollar sense, but what is the long-term effect? Because now if you die, who get them ashes next?
Right.
Then if they die, who get those ashes next?
Right.
You know, who's passing ashes around?
Right.
See,
You know, and I'm gonna say ashes because this is the best way we relate.
Right.
So it's just to say to us in our community to start thinking about how are we going to place our loved one even after cremation versus saying, I want to take mom home, I want to take dad home, or I want to take my baby home. You know, now are we going to make a place for the person?
right.
You know, are you going to create a land, a memorial site, somewhere to go to memorialize, or if not, and if you just okay with just leaving everything as is, because 10 years, 5 years from now, somebody come back, they want to do a genealogy on your family, and they say, where's Herman? Don't nobody know.
He in the closet.
Right. He on the floor. He got vacuumed up.
See, I told my kids.
So if they leave them at the funeral home, what do y'all do with them? Nothing. Y'all just.
So these are the stories that y'all been hearing all over the news nationally. These, you know, over the past this year, shall I say? For example, funeral home in Colorado. You know, where you hear, or the sample, the case with you hear about someone may have left remains in the funeral home. Like, how did they do that? That's easily. That's the family's responsibility at the end of the day. It's not ours. Our responsibilities, we've done it. Where we done took the person, we done got all the information. Now we were able to get the permission to do cremation, got the permit, did all that, correct? Now that we ready to return them back to the family, it's now the family, oh, I'm busy. Oh, I can't make it up there today. Oh, I'm going to send Johnny. Oh, a whole year then went past of O's. And next thing you know, it's 5 years. And you done sent out a letter over the years. You done made phone calls. Then by that 5th year, you call again and say, hey, next thing you know, you still can't get a response, can't get no one to come pick them up because now, oh, I don't want to touch them.
Is it like it's too much, or is it money they owe, or what's the problem?
It's not in the state of Ohio, we do not hold ashes for ransom.
Right.
It's not in the state of Ohio. You know, no one, the ashes are not held for ransom due to like say someone walk off and they come back and they be like, well, I didn't finish paying the bill. They owe $500. So then some people don't want to come back because they think, well, they owe $500, so they just gonna leave them there. No, just either work out a deal or work out something with the person or the funeral home owner or the funeral director that you're working with. Establish some type of payment or something that you can do. You can retain your loved one's ashes no matter if you owe or don't owe. But at the end of the day, it's like we have to stop leaving our loved one at the funeral home and making it be the funeral director's responsibility.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, after 60 days, according to the state of Ohio law, we have the right to bury the ashes. And then if we go ahead and bury them, and then you come back and say, hey, can I get Aunt Pearl?
After 2 years later.
Right. So I'm going to send you to the cemetery, and you pay the open and closing costs to retrieve Aunt Pearl. And now you can do whatever you like with Aunt Pearl.
Right.
But yeah, that's where this method or the stream of which I keep hearing about, why are the ashes left in the funeral home? Because people either failing to come get them, forgot, or just refuse.
Yeah.
So that's how the funeral homes end up. You hear, well, there were 20 cremains in there. Well, that's 20 people that left their loved one.
And they try to make y'all look bad instead of
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I told my
Wow.
kids I ain't want no funeral. I wanted to actually get cremated because I don't want no shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
So now you have to break it down to them.
Right,
like
now
she
break it
said.
down. I told them, but I said, when they get mine, either sit me on the mantle or when you go on the trip, spread me out and go on about your business in life.
Right.
Just spread me out in the sea somewhere and go on about your business. Or if you don't want to do that, just set me on the mantle and be all right. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I told them. Because I don't want no shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Give me my roses while I'm alive. You can't tell me how great I was in life or whatever.
Yeah.
You come to no funeral with tomorrow, shoulda cremate me.
Right.
Do my whatever leftover insurance money, if it is some, and spread me out there somewhere in the sea and go on about your life. Have fun, enjoy life. Don't worry about me no more.
Yeah.
That's what I told him. I
Yeah.
said,
And
I really
that-
meant that. Like,
And there's some cemeteries that offer like what they call scattered gardens, where you can scatter, your loved ones throughout wherever you like. Now you kind of sound like my mother, where she like just scatter me through the streets, and let me dance. But at the end of the day, you don't want a person to just be out there like, well, I'm gonna drop a little bit of Johnny over here.
Right.
I'm gonna drop some over here in the lane.
Just throw me out.
I'm gonna put some on a fish bait and
the
throw it
whole
to the
thing.
fish.
Throw me the whole. Don't ball me out in there. Don't be trying to save nothing. Just dump me all out.
Right.
And then when I'm all out that thing, then go on about life. Do what you will with the iron after I'm all out of that thing. Throw it away or whatever, and then go on about life.
Well, I mean, you could just think about a scattering garden, though, if that's something.
Okay, I didn't know that about
yeah,
that.
some cemeteries do offer a scattering garden. Pretty much, that's where your remains can just be scattered amongst the earth, shall I say? It do come with a fee, but I know in our culture we don't want to pay no more than what we have to, and
for that funeral, right?
for the grass over here, it's just as free as can be. But
I got a wheel. I got a wheel. I'm gonna always set up. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you can do a pre-plan. I mean, and that's another thing. We, in our community, we are scared to speak on pre-planning. I made my pre-arrangements at the age of 39. So at 39, I already knew exactly what I wanted, where I wanted to be, all that. So in that case, for us, you can think about considering pre-arrangements. If you want to just pay your services off and allow your insurance to be your inheritance to your family.
Right, yeah.
Or if you're going to use your insurance, how you budget that out to be. Those types of things.
Right.
Okay. I want to read some comments up here. We have Lavinia said, "This is good. Thank you all for this podcast today. Many more families should have been in tune today. A wealth of information, and thank you for your service and being there for people in the most difficult time of need." Then we have LaShawn Marshall. Okay. She said, "OMG, that's really something to think about when it comes to cremation."
Yeah.
And then Keisha has said, "That is interesting. This is very interesting." At the first time.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
I'm not in the camera when they were speaking.
So how long does the body be like preserved when you embalm, like the embalming fluid in people? How long does that be like preserved?
You could preserve if you do it right and you take your time, you could preserve a person as long as you want. So, I don't know the time limit. It just depends upon the person's body, depending upon what they went through medically. So whatever they took intrinsically, meaning medicines that they took, how it affected their body, and then extrinsically, maybe what effect was on their body. But if they died in a good position and everything wasn't no extra, no trauma or anything, a person I can probably preserve them for up to 2 years, just alpha general. I could just only go by my experience. I preserved somebody for 6 months, and that's just being outside the casket. Yeah. Because they were either one, being held out to go to Africa, or two, being held out due to money.
Yeah, I was just at a close friend, and when we went in, it was like a smell, like it was.
He was
like she was decomposing.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Because they had to do certain things before they gave them, got the body, get the body over. But you smell the smell,
It depends upon what happens with the person. As much as, let's say, the person started decomposing prior to death, and then by the time I get them, they already have a little smell, and it's me trying now, at this point, trying to mask the smell. And that's masking it with chemicals, and then sometimes chemicals do not mask well. Still, where you still will smell a little decomp, or decomposition, meaning that's the natural process or the breakdown of the organs on the inside of the body. when the person is decayed, that means there is no smell. The organs and everything are already broken down. So when y'all see an animal on the side of the road and y'all don't smell nothing, it's decay. But if you see an animal on the side of the road and you smell something, it's decomposition because they're in the form of breaking down.
Oh, okay.
I usually smell the decomposition all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell good.
Where you hang out at?
Right now we got a deceased squirrel that's been laying. First he was laying on his stomach. Now he's on his back. I'm like, some dogs or something must have been nibbling with him. But I'm like, man, they need to come get this because it stink.
Yeah.
We
After
do.
a while, you won't smell
You want someone after a while?
them. It's gonna be decayed.
Even if I'm like, go to him this close.
Yeah, you won't smell them after a while.
Wait a minute, now we do pet cremations as well now.
Yeah, so
Wow.
you,
Yes,
your
we do
animal
pet-
pass,
yes,
you pick your
yes,
pet
we
up
do
and
pet
cremate your
cremations as
pet.
well, yes.
I want to take up, what do you call that form of payment that they be asking so many people to donate to them and what you call that?
GoFundMe.
Go for me.
GoFundMe for the squirrel. So if anybody's out there, GoFundMe for the squirrel. Proper burial, please. And we're gonna take it to the bee spot, please.
You can do
But yes.
taxidermy.
Have it right on your mantle, right there.
Yes. So let me see.
Do y'all stuff? What is that? When some people, they pet die and they get them stuffed.
Taxidermy.
Oh, okay, that's what you just said that. Okay,
Yeah.
y'all do that?
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
But I've seen it done,
Oh, you seen it done?
Yeah, but
Is
I
it
don't.
unique? Is it?
In its own form.
But we will give your pit bull a good funeral. We will give your pit bull a good funeral.
Okay.
Yes. I have a question. Speaking on that, now let me ask you this, because I know y'all seen this. Do you guys offer the thing? I know I don't think I would ever do that. But where they like the person passed away and they want to be sitting up like they was in the club, they was still, like.
So that's called extremes. So extreme funerals is something that I definitely want to do.
You never did it before?
Well, I've done something close to it, but my extreme is, or my next extreme for anybody that's wanting, is either do it in a house, do it at a lake, do it at a piano, do it in a club or in a jazz setting, do it on a podcast. That means embalm the person and bring them right in here, and then you have that's called an extreme service. An extreme.
How do you know you'll be able to do it though?
I've already done it.
Oh, you done it before?
Yeah, I just, you just have to have those family members that's wanting that type of service. It's not every family want that type of service. So yes, you would have to have that family come in and say, hey, can you embalm my daddy's shooting pool? Sure.
Wow. So let me ask you, I don't know if you can answer this question, but what was he or the person, what were they doing position as? Like, what were they playing pool? What were they?
No, well, this person, I just did a replica of Aretha Franklin.
What?
So that was pretty much, the son. He did like a 2-day thing where he wanted his mother dressed in all black the night before. Mm-hmm. So we did an all black casket, all black attire, and he made all her outfits. And when I was embalming her, her body was just in such great condition that she went with everything I was able to do with her. So it happened to work out. And then the next day we did all white. So he dressed her in all white. He assisted in the dressing of his mother and doing the makeup and the hair. So we did her in all white and we placed her out, and then I was able to cross her legs and did a full couch casket, which is where you can see the whole entire body. Wow. So that was my replica of Aretha.
So this was a 2-day funeral?
Yeah.
Wow. Did people came?
Where? What was she? How was she?
Well, she went in the casket. So when she was time for presentation to the family and to the public. That's what I meant. Sorry. Excuse my term.
I had a whole vision of what she.
Oh, so when she was preparing like Aretha Franklin, it was just for the family?
No, it was for the public.
Oh, it was for the public?
Yeah, it was for the public. Yeah.
She was in the casket sitting that way or on the couch?
She was in the casket. We did the casket version, just like Aretha Franklin. You know, she crossed her legs. The only difference was this lady just had 2 day. No, Aretha had a couple of day change too. So she had a 2 day change. The only thing we ended with was a different purse and a calla lily that he wanted to put in her hands and gloves on her hands. But overall, it was a good service. It was, you know, it was time. You know, it was a lot of time involved. But overall, yeah. But we have another question to it.
I want to know how much something like that run, if you don't mind.
Well, in his case, it was a standard service, and as far as the cost, and when I say standard, it was between 5 and 10, or you know, shall I say, $1,000. But within that, he basically challenged me as to what else can we do with his mother. So I took that on as an opportunity to see what I can do, not an opportunity to see financially.
Right. Okay.
Just to see where you can go with it.
Yeah, you know, and I guess I could speak on and I don't want to offend anyone in the audience. This is a little tragic, more than tragic than normal. It's dealing with a deceased child, and with the child being decapitated, and trying to put that child back together to present him to the family. So that's another thing of what you would consider extreme as well.
Wow. Man.
Yeah.
That is something else. You learning a lot.
Was you successful?
Yes, I was.
So with the extreme, so had that been around for a long time as far as like what you did with like the Aretha Franklin? Because it's like now, I'm just now new to it, seeing it like on social media. So before social media, you know, that displays a lot of stuff. So has that been around before people even?
It's been around. It's just all involving the families and who who's doing it and who's gonna strike out there to say I'll be the first, or strike out there to say, well, let's try it. Let's see what we can do. You know. So that's what it kind of boiled down to. More of my services, I like to cater them to being personalized as far as customized. Like, for example, I did a Batman service for a young man. We did a school setup for a young girl that was killed. Did a football setup theme type of thing for another young lady who just loved football. So we did something like that. You know, so I try to cater to those types of things. Yes. But overall, it's just whatever the family brings to the table and they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, some things may come with a cost, you know, just depending upon what you want in that.
Yeah.
You know, because it may be outside of my realm to do, and I may have to bring in outsiders.
Yeah.
Right.
I kind of can see like when I first saw that on social media, I wasn't like, man, what is they doing? Like I was just like, wow. So I could kind of see, like, to be honest, like if someone wants to go extreme, like, you know, like my father, my brother, whatever, he loved fishing, so I want him to be sitting at a lake, you know, on a bench and just like holding a rod or something like that. So I can kind of see that. It's not like weird to me. It's like, okay, you know, if that's what they wanted, that's what they wanted. Yeah, so
It's my theme is give the people what they want.
yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, this is their bill they're paying for.
Yes.
It's not mine. You know, and I'm at your beck and call as far as what I need to provide, how may I assist, and the resources I can assist you with or provide to you.
Right. Yeah. Let me see. So let me ask another question. Sway away from that a little bit. So your friends, now not your family, friends and family. What did they have to say when you, Vernon, when you decided to go into this business? What did they have to say? What was some of the feedback that you got?
Well, my grandmother said, I knew that boy was weird. Something was wrong with that boy.
Wow.
But once she saw the compassion that I have for it, she knew, she said, that's my baby. Yeah. Because he loved to help people. He loved to make people smile. He loved to bring joy to people in their darkest moments. So
right.
that's what That's what she said. At first, she thought I was a little weird. Something wrong with that boy. Charlie, something wrong with that boy.
Right. What about the friends, though? What about
My friends? My friends was like, don't smoke that stuff no more.
Wow. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
So, was it somebody like the hardest, like how you ever did, like family members that?
Yeah, I've done quite a few.
Your family? Mm-hmm. How was that?
It was at first it was emotional for the first family member, but then after I did the next one, it just became a little easier, but not easy.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
But when it comes to family members, one thing you all don't see us do is cry. We cry, to ourselves, off scene, whatever. We are mourn just like everybody else, because we're human just like everybody else. But when it comes time to uphold the family and be the family's backbone, we're there. And one of the hardest ones for me was my little brother. And my sister and my oldest brother thought I was being heartless. Like, they was around crying and, just sad. I was too. But I knew in my heart, in my mind, that I ain't gonna say a job to do, but I had ministry to do to console this family and let them know, like, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm walking with you. But yeah, they didn't see the crying that I did off, they didn't see the snot and tissues and all of that. Yeah. But all they ever saw was me being professional on a professional level. Yeah. Like I said, we hurt too.
Yeah, it's like a light, like a light go off, to now we got to care for either our family or we caring for someone else's family. Mm-hmm. But it's not to say we're emotionless or we don't have empathy. It's now we just, being, I guess, studious or having this straight face, or as everybody would say, lurch, a look to ourselves as to, but overall, when the emotion kicks in, it kicks in, and, you, as he say, you're in the background crying to yourself about what has transpired. Now, sometimes on some services, depending upon the emotion and how families are, I do cry. Now, he may not cry because he telling me to suck it up, but I cry. I can't help it. But, if you crying, I'm crying too. So the emotion part, is there for me.
I wanted to know, like, this is one question that I did want to know. Now, when you're going, whether it's your family, a friend, or just someone else's family, what are some of the things, both of you, what are some of the things that is this some type of, not ritual, but like a thing that you do to mentally prepare yourself to get ready to do what you're doing? Do you go into a trance or let me disassociate my normal self away from what I'm about to do right now? How do you prepare for that? Is it something that you ritually do, like normally do?
I sing hymns.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Right. Okay.
So, but you're never prepared.
Right.
Because just like we might leave here tonight and be into some extreme scene or what have you.
Yeah.
You're never prepared. That's why we stay prayed up. We keep constantly communication with each other. Hey, I ain't heard from you in a day or so. You good? Yeah, I'm good. We pray.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's the
number
key
one
point
thing
of our
is
business.
prayer.
Number one thing, prayer.
It's prayer, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you don't have that or let me say this. My work is God's work at the end of the day. and I can't change that. And you know, for him to allow me to come this far to do all that I do is nothing for me to say thank you, Jesus, for blessing me to get this far. So if you can't say that, you know, I don't know what else to say.
I think everybody, you know, in life, you have a calling, and God give us orders, and we have to carry out those orders. Just like you said, like he was saying, I mean, you had said, like sometimes people probably thought you was weird, but that was a call. That was an order that God gave you. You know, so I think we all have an order, but sometimes people don't hear God, so they miss it. And then a person who's not in alignment with God, they probably would have said you weird. But if they was in alignment with God, they would have known that was a calling, because somebody has to do it.
Exactly.
You know, so I think that's too, like, he said, like, oh, I can't do nursing. But that's a calling.
That's a calling for you, right?
You know, it's a calling to be compassionate, to help people. And then, you know, I remember before I became a nurse years ago, because I was an STNA at first, and my first encounter was when a patient died. And I didn't know this patient, but I'm crying like crazy. Just because it's death, it was death, and you know. So, but over the years, we witnessed death. You know, people die all the time on it. So, like I said, it get not that you don't care, but it get easier. Like you don't be so emotional no more. Like you know, after so long, you know, because it's going on like 30 years for me. So after so long, you don't. You know, when somebody dies, it's not that you don't care, you know, but it don't affect you like it's in my earlier years. It's like, I don't even know these people, and I'm bawling, crying. I even tell somebody, no, they just died, you know. But now it's just, you know, like, you know.
It's the fact that you knew that they was breathing. You just took them something. You may have gave them their medicine. You might have read their chart for the day, you know.
So, yeah, but the hardest part for me now, I think, is when somebody passed, us in a geriatric, because, you know, we work in nursing home, rehabilitation centers. I think the hardest part for me is when I have to pick up the phone and call the family. Because we have to do that. If they're not on hospice, like hospice does it. If they're a hospice patient, the hospice people will call them. But if they're not on hospice, it's us nurses. We have to call these family and just tell them they loved one just died.
And even when you do that, you don't know what you will get. You know, you liable to have somebody come running up in there, get ready to go down.
Right.
You know,
The emotions.
I've encountered a lot of
Emotion did mad at us.
We didn't do.
I've been on both sides.
I've been involved in things like that.
That's what they told us in school, that they'd be mad at the doctor, the nurse first, then they come to the funeral home, be mad at you, and then mad at anyone else around you because of the fact that they dealing with denial, anger, acceptance.
Acceptance, You know what? And it's sad that you say that, because I had just, when I was in nursing school, you know, they teach you that. They teach you the acronym of the DABO. You know. I just was saying, like, wow, I remember years ago in nursing school, like 17 years ago. And they taught us that. And I remember the acronyms just to pass the test.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
But you don't realize
that it took place in my life when my mom passed away. So I was in denial. I was angry. Then it was a blaming. And then it's going on 5 years, I'm at acceptance. I can, like, after 5 years, I can accept that my mother is no longer here. It still hurt, but I can accept it. Now I'm accepting. I'm like, wow, I remember learning these stages I just went through. And now I'm at acceptance. So that was, you know, I'm like, wow, I still do sit back like, I'm happy I'm in the acceptance stage now, because now I know, death is inevitable. We're going to die. We're going to die. But when your loved ones do die, you know everybody's going to die. But when they do, it's just like, it's heartbreaking. It's just do something, you know. It do something, especially when your mom. That's like I can't even explain it. You ain't even got a word for that.
Right.
So that's why, you know, people say you grieve and you never tell a person like they grieving too long.
No, you can't.
You can't tell a person they grieving too long. And
You don't know how long it is.
Like I was telling him, me, as far as like with death and like cemeteries and stuff like that, I still haven't went to visit my mom's cemetery after 5 years. I personally just think like, and it's just me, I've been grieving and I'm feeling like stuff can be like placed in your head like mental. And I just feel like she's down in I feel like she's with me and first and foremost because I feel like the body is just the shell of the soul, of the spirit. You know, that's just all what the body is that spirit. And I just feel like my mom is with me all the time. Everywhere I go, you know, she's with me or whatever. So I just personally feel like going to the grave will set me back into that depression. Me just feeling like this me, y'all. Because, you know, everybody has their own thought process on things. I just feel like she's down. I know she's down in the grave. And I know her spirit is no longer there. But I just feel like she can't if I feel like she's there, you know, you put stuff in and you carry that spirit, that energy. So if I'm sitting down there at this grave and I'm feeling like she's down in there, she can't come up. Her spirit can't get out.
She tried.
Yeah, I feel like her spirit can't get out. So if I don't go there, I feel like her spirit is just with me. Because, you know, everything is with energy. So that's what I feel about it. And this is something that's probably going to shock people too. I still have not bought her a plot. And anybody that knows me know I could have bought her 20 plots. It's not even about a money issue. It's about just what I just...
Are you saying that the headstone?
The headstone.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, the headstone.
Okay. So the correction for
Plots.
is
Okay.
where she is, but
she's
she
in a plot.
just want a
She's at
headstone or
Springs.
marker
Yeah.
for her.
I just couldn't get myself to do it because of that. And I
You
think
closed her out if you did.
something, yeah. And I think it's like some family members, like, you know, probably like, why she ain't got her mama that?
And it's okay.
You know, and it's part of grieving. So now I'm at the acceptance stage where we go back to the dabber. And now I'm like, okay.
You can recreate what you want. You can draw out what you want. This
My mind is more
art
clear.
piece to be when
Yeah.
you go back. If you go back to see
I'm
it.
there because now I'm there, and I had told my one aunt, like, I'm finally there. I think I can go get her this now. And it's now I'm putting myself aside because I have brothers.
Yeah, other people.
Because they don't, just because I feel like this.
Yes.
You know, so now I'm there, and now I'm about to do it for my brothers. But I don't think want, like I said, would go to the grave site.
Yeah.
So, and I
that's
tell
okay.
people like grieving, and it's totally different. Everybody thinks different. Everybody grieving. Nobody's right or wrong how they grieve or how they do things. It's just each individual.
Yeah.
It just until it happened to you. Some people just will never understand until it happened to you. So that's where I'm at. Like as far as like cemetery deaths and stuff like that. That's where I'm at because I know my father's, you know, got my mother with me, the spirit, you know, that's what we're a spirit. We are a spirit. So, and good energy. I love good energy spirit. And I know my mom is with me. She in this room.
All the time.
And just think if you do a marker, and that's another thing too for us, besides cremations, if you decide to do a marker, don't just think of, you know, the standard headstone. You could do something that's, you can create an art piece on it.
Yes.
You know, whatever you like.
Yeah, I knew a lady that got her daughter a magnificent plot with whatever she wanted on there,
The headstone.
picture and all kind of
Yeah.
headstone and all that. For me, it's always been about the connection
Yeah.
to the people. Now, I worked for hospice and I worked in long term where, you know, I seen them. I had to clean them up and get them together for the coroner to come get them and all that. And then hospice, you know, I worked with them all the way. I was there holding their hand until they passed away. But the first one for me, I was working in Georgia, and I was living in I lived in home with.
Okay.
I was an in-home aide, you know, breakfast, lunch, dinner, hair appointments, all that. Doctor appointments, I took her everywhere, you know, did everything for her. And it was just, that one was so hard for me, you know, to this day. Like, it took me about 3 years or more just to watch the TV show me I used to watch every day. It took 3 years just to glance at the show. I wouldn't watch the show. I wouldn't do a lot of stuff we did. I wouldn't do because it reminded me of her. And I missed her so much, you know. And I called her Sweet Memory Tape. She was one. So
Sweet memory tape.
Sweet memory tape. I love her. And she taught me so much, and it just I miss her so much. Yeah. But yeah, that was the first one for me that really affected me. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: do you watch the TV show now?
I watch it now, but I still don't watch it like me and her watched it all the time.
So may I ask you what show is it?
Steve Harvey show.
Oh, okay.
Family Feud.
Okay. Right.
And I glance over it a little bit just so I can feel her. You know, if I'm missing her, I watch it just so I can feel like I'm feeling her. Because she, at the time, hey, it better be on the show.
Right.
You know, so.
And you better be quiet. Right. I understand.
So I just a little bit, I can watch it a little bit, but not the whole show.
I understand.
My social, but just to feel her, when I'm missing on her a lot, I watch a little bit of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
It's I wanted to ask one question to get swayed a little bit, but I don't know if you guys have children, but do your children aspire to be like walking in your footsteps as far as this? Are they like, Mama, I don't know how you do it, but I ain't doing it?
I go first.
Yeah, go first.
I have one. I have many that cling to me like they're mine. But no, she does not want to. Allegedly, let me just put that word out there. Do not want to go into the funeral industry.
Right.
And is pretty much my whole life of having her. That's all she's seen. My daughter is 19. So she's a traveling mortician's daughter, as I call it, because we travel from Maryland to California to Cleveland to back down here and wherever else, the law of the land took me to explore the funeral business.
Right. Okay.
Well, my kids, they was raised by the funeral home.
Okay.
So like, they was in preschool, kindergarten or whatever, and I would take them to the funeral home before I take them to school. And I tell them like, look, sit in the chapel, play with your little toys. Dad, I'm gonna be busy.
Right.
And they grew up in the funeral business. They watched the long hours that I did, they birthdays that I missed. Cause funeral business is not a 9 to 5.
No, it's not.
It's a 24 hour. So I done missed some birthdays. Right. I done missed a lot of stuff. So they like, nah, Dad, that's your thing. You do your thing, and I'm gonna do mine. And I'm like, okay, you sure? And I even tell them like, Miss Foles asked about you. I don't know what she asked about me for, Dad. That's your thing.
I ain't going over there.
Yeah, I don't know what she asked about me for. That's your thing.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's cool though. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, man.
If your kids don't just come off intrigued by it or just speak on it, then it's like, no, I am not about to push them into this industry because, like he said, this can take up 24 hours of your life.
Right.
Consumption, whether you meeting the family, picking the person up, the deceased, from wherever they passed away from. Then you meet the family. Then from meeting the family, if you embalm the person, then from embalming them, then if you got to do some other outside resources, before you know it, your day gone. And then, somebody say, did you make it to the graduation? Like, oh, shit, when was that?
Oh, man.
Or, are you coming for dinner tonight? Or can you come to Thanksgiving? Shit, I got a call. It's Thanksgiving, But then somebody say, well, how you got a call? And it's Thanksgiving.
Right.
I can't tell you when death calls.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Right. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So just always remember that death is a calling that we don't know when it's calling.
Right. Yeah.
Just like birth is given, you don't know when birth is going to be given, and we don't know when God say, hey, it's your time.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
It's the holidays for me though.
Yeah.
It's the holidays.
What missing the holidays?
Oh man,
Yeah, we missed a lot of
I sat
holidays.
down
I
one.
missed a
I
lot
sat
of
down. I remember one year, Thanksgiving. We had 6 calls that night. I couldn't even eat dinner. Every time I sat down, was about to eat, I got a call. Put it back in the microwave. I gotta go. Get back home. Sit down. You ready to eat now? Yeah, I'm ready. Up. Gotta go.
Wow.
So it's the holidays. It's the holidays for me.
That's dedication.
Yeah, that's dedication. It is.
That is dedication.
Yes.
And that's what you knew. You knew that before going into it, though. You knew that. You already knew it.
Well, not everybody knew we was gonna have to work holidays.
I did what I did.
You know, some of my students when they, right now. I'm sorry to disrupt you, but some of my students that's coming out of mortuary school, they feel like, oh, it's just a 9 to 5.
Oh, right. It ain't no 9 to 5. Sure.
Wow.
So, and they want to set their hours accordingly and all this. I'm going on vacation then. And you thought you about to take 12 days off? I don't think so.
Right. It's a wrap.
Miss Foles have called me. We have done a case. I have gotten home, just kicked my shoes off, and she called me again. Lady, I just left you. Well, you know the deal. This the business that we in.
Right.
Get up and let's go. I'm on my way.
Wow.
So it's not, like I said, it's not a set time. Not a set time at all. Def don't take no holidays. Def don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever. What you are, where you are, your financial status,
Yeah.
your popularity, Def do not care.
Yeah, if it's your turn, it's your turn.
Time to go.
Don't stop it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got before we kind of wrap it up, if someone out there really wants to get into this business and really, really like say, you know what, that's something that I could see myself doing. I want to see if I can, get into this line of business. What are some steps? What are some things that they have to do? What are some avenues that they can take to get to your position?
As an educator, I teach students how to embalm at Cincinnati College of Mortuary Science. So my first step is for those that's intrigued is to what I did, let me just tell you a quick story. So when I was younger, I was in high school. Shout out to Taft High School.
Yes. Yes.
There was a funeral home that was across the street from where we lived, which was the courts at that time, Lincoln Courts.
Yeah.
And called that funeral home, which was Jameson and Jameson. Said, hey, can I just come over, check you out, get a little feel, sweep the porch, do something? Nah, call me when you go to school. And it was like, to me, it was like, dang, I couldn't even just get a question out. So that put me in a position that it's always been the next person that asks me, I'm going to show them how to do it. These are the steps that you need to take. And if it's up to you if you want to take those steps.
Right.
The biggest step is, may want to go and shadow or ask the funeral director, hey, may I come by and just ask you a few questions, pick your brain or shadow a service. Or take the steps, go through high school or GED program or some type of trade program. Then either take on a 2-year college or a 4-year college. In the state of Ohio, you have to have a 4-year education in order to be a licensed embalmer and funeral director.
Oh.
Now, if you're in Kentucky, Indiana, you only have to have a 2-year degree. So I just say, go on to college, either do your 2 years, either get your prerequisites out the way, then you can come into mortuary school and you'll do your last 18 months at mortuary school. It's an accelerated program, so don't come to mortuary school bullshitting, playing, or acting like I can't do this. It ain't for you then. Don't come if you ain't prepared, because it's a mental challenge all the way through. And it's mentally challenge you on every topic, every subject that you could think of through the 18 months just to get you a bachelor's program. You're gonna get a bachelor's degree, and then they preparing you to pass a national board exam. And this national board exam, you have to pass that in order to work anywhere in the United States. Then once you pass the national board exam, you have to pass that state exam. So whatever state it is that you want to get licensed in, you have to take that state board exam. And then once you take that state board exam and pass it, then you're officially licensed. And then once you license, you go from there. So a lot of people think that, oh, I ain't about to go through all them steps. I can just go and drive a car, or I can just come and do this. It's just easier, I shall say, for us in our industry. We are a dying industry as far as the Black funeral homes. It's not enough of us going to mortuary school. So, meaning we don't even have enough males at mortuary school. I have 1 Black male at the mortuary school. So think about that.
Yeah.
So that's just my thing as far as not trying to say come into the industry because it's death. No, come into the industry to keep it counterparting and as well as keeping business alive,
Right.
you know, generating a business. How do you do this and how do you do that? You know, to bring, because the funeral homes was the mecca of our culture, you know, to
It was
get
the
us
pillar
where
of
we
our community, right.
you know, the Underground Railroad. If you didn't have a procession to the cemetery, sometimes you didn't escape as a slave. So you would come in up under the buggy to go to the cemetery. You know, so that's just an example of how long we've been in this industry and how long we're going to last as long as more of us come into the industry.
Anything you have to add, Vern?
Well, this business is not a 9 to 5 once again. So if you're going out with the homies at 6, the office closed at 5, you're allowed to get a call at 4:30, 4:45, and you might not leave the funeral home to about 12 o'clock that night. Wow. So you're gonna miss, hanging out. It's like I said, it's not a job, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's a difference. Most folks are, when they get out of school, they're looking to make a lot of money. This business is, you can make money in this business, but this business is really built on how well the community receive you,
Right.
your work. Because if you out here and you just fluid pushing, so to speak, and not taking in your craft, not being, your craft. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like I say, I thank God for Miss Folds. She have held my head up when I felt that I wasn't no good to the industry.
Right.
She have lifted me up and told me as a young black man, we need you. You might start off small, she said, but I'm gonna build you up.
That's what's up.
And she, like I said, we talk on a daily basis. She fuss at me. I don't take it to heart,
Right.
because I know she has my best interest.
Right.
So, and I love working with her, and I thank God for her.
Yeah.
She'll be fussing at me tomorrow.
Yes.
Probably. But, hey, I love her.
Let's clap it up for that. Like, no sense. So if anyone wants to follow your footsteps, Sensor, and want to get in touch with you or whatever, and they're intrigued by what you guys just said, who do they call? What's the number? What's the
You would call 513-628-5953, which is my direct number, and I'll say it again, 513-628-5953, or you can reach me at mortuarybeekeeper.biz, M-O-R-U, wait a minute, I spelled it wrong, mortuarybeekeeper.biz.
Yes.
Mortuarybeekeeper.biz. And this is where you can reach out to me.
Okay. Yep.
Or on Facebook.
On Facebook at what?
Mortuary Beekeeper or Centerfolds. CFSP.
Yes.
Certified Professional Funeral.
Let's say
Okay.
type that.
That'll be on YouTube. That'll be on YouTube. And we'll put it on here too.
Isaac.
Yeah, we'll type it in the comments.
Somebody named Isaac.
Hey, Isaac.
Isaac!
All the way from Spain.
Oh, he's from Spain?
No,
He is in Spain.
he's part of the crew, but he on vacation.
Oh, hold on.
So he got a vacation out of
Yeah, he
us.
on vacation.
Hey, Isaac, we need you here at 4:30 a.m. So get ready, Isaac. That's what's up.
Happy birthday. birthday to him too.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
And we at Mortuary Beekeeper want to say thank you for having us.
Yes.
It truly is an honor and a privilege to be here tonight.
Yes.
Thank y'all for coming. We
We
appreciate
appreciate y'all for
I
coming.
like that.
We appreciate y'all for coming. And I do have to say, this is one of the smoothest, saddest, but happiest shows that we had.
Yeah.
No glitches.
Right.
It ran smooth and it's about to end like in, you normally be like 3 hours.
Right. I think it was interesting, and I think it was like
Very
a lot of
informative.
people didn't know. Like it was
Yeah,
very
yeah,
like
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
over
yeah.
here like what?
Yeah.
Like I didn't even
know
know
that
I'm
people
saying like
I didn't even know about people had to go to school for that.
Yeah, you have to go to school.
I
You have to go to
I
school.
didn't know
like
that
y'all was saying was just so
Like how you broke down
Education.
the ashes, so to speak, or the cream. What do you say?
all
Cremation.
that,
Cremation.
like, everything
Yeah.
that she
That was
said,
very
like,
educational.
that you didn't know. Like I
Very
just didn't know.
educational.
So that's what our platform is for too. Like we want, as far as education.
Yes.
Just positive things. No, people probably think funerals and this and that is negative. No, it's other things behind.
Now we
Right.
do. I try to be silly. My biggest thing I think in the arrangements for me when I meet with families is to make them laugh. I think if I get them to laugh when they first come in, because when they come in they tense, they stress, they thinking about everything under the sun. My whole thing is to get them to laugh, to relax, and to think about whatever that person would did. Like if they did something funny, because if you break the monotony of making it funny, it kind of eases the emotion of wanting to cry. It give you the emotion of let me just laugh out loud to release. But even though it's a form of emotion too,
Okay.
it's a form of release. It's a form of getting it out, but also to reassure back to the family, say, hey, if you have any questions that I did not explain, let me explain it again, just to make sure that I educated you well.
Right.
And so you know what the next steps that you need to take going forward.
Now let me ask this question. This is a question. I just thought about this. What about convicted felons as far as like trying to get into your program? Is it hard for them, or is it like some?
Now, in Ohio, they do. Some felons can get into the industry, but it just depends upon what the felony is.
Right.
So, but there is these stipulations that they do put down as far as felons.
Yeah, depending on what it is. How severe the yeah. Because I know it's a lot of guys out there that they unfortunate situations where. And they feel like there's no way out. They can't.
I mean, and my thing is, if they feel like there's no way out, there's also the alternative of working in a funeral home, being a driver, assisting and helping getting people dressed, casketed. The other thing, even if they decide they're gonna be an owner of the business, and then they hire a licensee to run the funeral business.
Yeah.
It's quite a few people doing that.
Oh, wow.
Just to say, to bring in the business or to consider even being in the industry, but just don't think to come into the industry saying, ooh, I'm going to make buku dollars.
Right.
You can't think about it because the ministry is going to counterpart that into what those buku dollars going to be. So the overall is now ministering the education and the resources behind it.
Yeah.
It's funny you just said that because we was talking to a young lady standing outside and we was just talking about. She asked us, what did she ask us? Do we make money doing this?
Oh yeah.
She asked, do we make money doing this podcast? And I told her like, no, we don't. And I honestly, and that's how I feel, like this podcast is for just getting things out there to people and it's positivity and just uplifting people and stuff like
Public
that.
knowledge,
like, we didn't come into
right.
this podcast of want to make money.
Throwing people under the bus.
Want to make money because that would come if that's what God called us to, and He ordered those steps for us. Then we'd get it, but. We didn't come in here like, we're gonna get on a podcast to make lots of money and this and that. That's when you block your own blessing because that's your whole mindset.
Exactly.
It's only coming to make money.
Right.
But if you doing something from your heart, and that's when you'll be rewarded.
Yes.
Passion
That's
for
when you'll
whatever
be
it
rewarded.
is.
So it ain't like we want to do a podcast and have people on or get likes up on social media to do whatever God order on our steps, and that's where we're gonna get to. Yes, we're gonna receive that blessing. We want that blessing if that money comes. But the mindset, you can't go when you're doing God's work and doing, positive things, because anything that positive and energy you put out there, that's the work of the Lord. So you don't have to put a cap on a price tag on there, because we can save our choices for heaven.
Yes. Yes.
So
I think everybody can agree that this particular show, like with any other show that we do, that we learn something. We're like, wow, I did not know that.
Right.
Every time.
And I love it. I
love it.
enjoy like having people on. And so anybody, y'all come on. This is full of blessings. You full of blessings. Sometimes we be asking people don't know. Sometimes you may block your blessing.
Right.
Like when Auntico asked, about coming on, I was not standoffish, but I'm shy. So it was like, I don't know, if I should or should not. But I said, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do it since he asked, and then I guess this will be where I can see where my shyness is, or my introvert self, may come out a little bit. But I appreciate and thank you for even asking, because now you may have opened up the community, with y'all podcast, as well as for you all in your profession and us to teach the audience of what we do and how we serve, and how we're going to continue to serve, regardless if they love us or don't.
Because y'all taught a lie. Because the only thing that people think is they just put the embalming fluid in them and then had it for them. You know what I'm saying? People don't. You know what I'm saying? That you don't know.
Embalming comes with embalming comes with chemistry. If you don't know how to chemically mix your chemicals, because you got to know how to chemically mix the chemicals, you got to know a little preliminary of what the person may have passed from, if how their body looks, that tells you how now, I need to use this chemical on this person for that. Then once you embalm them, are they gonna take? Is the arterial system flowing right? Is the arterial clogged right here? And this why I can't embalm this part of the leg, because now I need to go in and open this artery to get the rest of the leg. That's the stuff that people don't hear or see. They only see mama looking good in the casket, but it's the extra stuff that we got to go through to preserve them. I may not be trying to preserve a foot because the foot is dead, but I still want to preserve that foot. Or even when the person smell like he said, decomposition, now is challenging me. How do I limit this smell? Because now people gonna say, damn, they let that person go rotten. And that's not the case. Right. It's just, now how do we stop the smell? But we don't know how, we try to do everything possible under the sun. Right. So, as they say, we are morticians, not magicians.
Wow. Yes. I like it.
I love it. Work.
I love it.
Yes, me too. I learned a lot.
I learned a lot.
It was very educational.
Especially with the I'm gonna say the ashes.
Okay.
The cream.
Ashes. Cremains.
Amen.
Cremains. Yes. Yes, Isaac is cracking up at something.
And Rob said, good podcast. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah. So we're gonna say we had a great time tonight. I'm so glad you guys tuned in. And I'm so glad that I asked that question about the felon thing, because it's a lot of guys out there, and man, they need it. They need to change their direction so they can have something positive to look up to. And I think with this field, if you have the gut to do certain things, you have the gut to do this.
Yeah.
You might not. But I think it's very, very it's a very great avenue to dive into, and just to see, because you never know. This might be something. It's been plenty of times I had something placed in front of me, and I was like, damn, I didn't know how to make music.
Right.
I didn't know how to do a podcast. I didn't know drawing or anything, but you have to take the proper steps in order to get to know. And you have to take those steps. And if you want to know, you have to, like I said, take those steps. But I want to say, as usual, every Sunday, please tune in to the Pillow Talk podcast. And as usual, when you do it, make sure you grab your pillow and chill with us. Thank you. We are out.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.